town. The one everyone says is haunted. Yeah, that one. I remember feeling this mix of excitement and dread as I pushed the creaky door open. It had this musty smell, like a time capsule of forgotten stories. And honestly, I was just drawn to it. I wandered through the dimly lit aisles, and I swear there were shadows moving, but I brushed it off. It was just my imagination, right? Or was it? Anyway, I found this book in the back corner. I can still picture it. It looked like it had been there for ages, with this warm feel like it was alive. I opened it, and the pages were filled with dark tales of lost souls and curses. I remember thinking, this is just a bunch of stories, but something about it felt different. It was like the words were pulling me in, especially when I found a ritual to communicate with the dead. I couldn't help but wonder if it was real. What if... Later that night, a storm rolled in, and I felt this insane urge to go back to the library. It was like something was calling me. When I got there, the wind howled outside, and I felt this surge of adrenaline. I swear the shadows were moving. Maybe it was just the flickering lights playing tricks on me, but I could have sworn I saw a familiar face in the dark. A friend who had gone missing years ago. It sent chills down my spine. Was I really ready to dig deeper into this? So, I decided to try the ritual. I know it sounds crazy, but I lit a candle and started reading the incantation from the book. The moment I spoke the words, the air seemed to change. I could feel the temperature drop, and shadows started swirling around me. I mean, it felt like a scene from a horror movie. And then, those shadows formed into faces, people I recognized, their eyes filled with desperation. I felt this wave of panic hit me. What had I done? Then, one shadow stepped forward, and I could hear it clearly. It said, "We were taken, and now it's your turn to join us." I remember my heart dropping. It was the face of the woman who had vanished years ago. I yelled, "No!" as if I could somehow fight back against this nightmare. But the shadows just laughed, their voices blending into a haunting chorus. I realized that I wasn't just dealing with ghosts. I was surrounded by the lost souls of my town. It felt like a trap closing in on me. I was desperate to escape. I grabbed the book, trying to slam it shut, but it wouldn't budge. It was like it was glued to the table. The shadows got closer, their laughter echoing in my ears as they taunted me. "You're one of us now, Elena." I felt icy fingers brush against my skin, and I wanted to scream. I remember thinking, this can't be happening. In that moment of sheer panic, I yelled the incantation again, hoping it would somehow save me. And then, everything went still. The shadows paused, and for a moment, I thought I might actually have a chance. A blinding light suddenly erupted, flooding the room and pushing the shadows away. I felt a force pulling me back, and I was thrown into the brightness. I landed hard on the floor, gasping for breath. Had I escaped? I remember looking around, and the library seemed eerily quiet, as if the shadows had retreated. I sat there, trembling, and the book was closed in front of me. I glanced at the clock. It showed hours had passed. Hours! I couldn't wrap my head around it. Had it been all a nightmare? I felt a surge of relief wash over me, but as I stood up and turned to leave, I caught sight of myself in a mirror hanging on the wall. What I saw made my heart stop. The reflection wasn't mine. It was one of the lost souls, a woman with hollow eyes staring back at me. I remember whispering, "No," as I stepped back in horror. The realization hit me like a freight train. I hadn't escaped. I had become one of them. The shadows had claimed me, and now I was trapped in the library, destined to wander its dark aisles, forever whispering warnings to the next curious soul who dared to enter.